Okay, welcome back. When we're trying to fill our skirt, there was a splash. There was a splash because you remember I said because the peplum was covering the skirt that we should get rid of this skirt line. That's this middle line, 1, 2. This middle line from your right. But you are not supposed to get rid of it because if it's open, it means there's an opening. So when you are trying to fill, there's a splash. So you leave the line. So now what we are going to do, let's now fill your pair of divider and ruler, your fill button, go to the colors, you select a color that you want, then you click on it. Has the fill button is not activated yet. Select a color you want, okay, then you click on where there's still a splash. What's happening? I have not highlighted. You come to this shadow point, you highlight the skirt. Is the skirt we want to fill now with color, so you click on it. I want the skirt and the band to have the same color, so you can see now everywhere is covered. So that has happened. So for us to now fill the peplum, I want us to fill the peplum with a different color. You highlight the page at which you drew the peplum, you go to your pair of divider and ruler, you click on the fill, you pick your color. I can decide to use a darker or brown. Now you click on, there's a space there, that's why we had that splash. I'll have to correct it, but let me check other places so that I can do the correction at once. Can zoom this inner points. That's the problem, or you have to zoom so that at this point now there's a space. That's why we have that splash. So now let me check this other side if there's a space. There's a space at that point too, so I have to undo and close up. I change the color of my pen to black, then I exit this fill button. I try to I like to zoom it closer. When it's not supposed to. Okay. The space now is, as it gets to this point, you still run on top of the skirt. I don't know if you understand, because if you just take it like this, the side is open. Let me show you. Open this shadow box now. Let me go to a new one. You can see what I did now. That curve, if you look at this point that is highlighted on the side I just adjusted, you will notice that there is a curve on the left hand side. What I just did, that's the hip region of the skirt, while at the right hand side it's not there. That's why we're having a splash. So you must put that. Don't worry, with time you would understand how this works. So the peplum ends here, but we must still include this curve so that it will be certain that there is no space. So now let us try to fill. Okay, let me just use my color picker to pick. You can see now it is what covered. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to shade. Now to shade, I want us to hide the peplum. Let us concentrate on the skirt. Let's shade the skirt. You highlight the skirt. Now when you highlight the skirt, because we want to work on the skirt, to shade you create a different page. by clicking the plus. You see that. Now you click on this highlighted page that is empty. You go to blending, you click on blending, you click on what? Multiply. Make sure you click on what? Multiply. The good sign will show that you've clicked it. Then you close. Multiply is showing on that page. Now the sides you shade are the sides that are protruded. That's the hip of a woman and maybe the breast region by the time we get to that stage. So what we want to do now is to shade this skirt. We let us work with the same color on the skirt, but to give us a darker shade. Let's just color pick it instead of going to look for it. So now you change your pen to your soft what? Airbrush. You close. You can do, you reduce the size to like 24. Okay, then you shade. I don't know, you can you see what's happening? Allow spillage, because by the time you clean, it makes the skirt more what? Defined. You shade the two sides. Now after shading, if you like how it is, then you get your eraser so you can erase the sides. I want to increase my eraser a bit so that I don't spend much time. So I'll pause this video and erase the sides so that. Okay, I'm back. Now I have what? Shaded. So the next thing I'm going to do, I want to highlight my skirt a bit. I still click on this shadow box. I click on this plus sign. I create another page. Get the pattern. Oh, I click on it. I go to blending. I then click screen. What screen does is that it gives you a lighter shade of whatever color you pick on the color you are working on. Then I change my brush to soft what? Airbrush. Then I shade. I can decide to shade the middle. I think I want to increase my brush. I want it a bit. Then let me undo. This is fine. You shade the sides. You highlight the sides. You can highlight it, then you leave the middle. Try to have a perfect job. I don't know if you understand. Try to have a perfect job. If you feel it's too light, you can click on the shadow box and reduce the opacity of your shade. I think this is fine. So now, since we are done with the skirt, what we are going to do now, let's concentrate on the what? Peplum.